The emperor's new clothes, a king, a deception, and a great truth. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there was an emperor who didn't care about his people, his soldiers, or the kingdom's important matters. Do you know what the only thing he cared about was? His clothes. This emperor loved his outfits more than anything in the world. He had a wardrobe so vast, it seemed like a palace within his own palace. He didn't care about meetings or listening to his shiu advisors. He only wanted to know,
what will I wear today? Which shiny silk or which cloak embroidered with gold threads will make everyone gaze at me in awe?
One day, two very clever men arrived in the kingdom, claiming to be the finest weavers in the world. They presented themselves before the emperor with a proposal that made his eyes shine with greed.
Your Majesty,
one of them said,
we can make for you a suit so magnificent that it will be like nothing you've ever seen. Not only will it be beautiful, but it will have magical powers. It will be invisible to anyone who is foolish or unfit for their position.
The emperor was stunned.
Such a suit won't just make me look fabulous, but I'll be able to discover who in my court is intelligent and who isn't.
Without thinking twice, he gave them a large sum of money and ordered them to start immediately. The two weavers set up their looms in a grand room in the palace. They pretended to work day and night, moving their hands in the air, passing needles back and forth, although there wasn't a single thread on the loom. But no one dared to say anything, because what if it meant they were fools? The emperor, curious, sent his wisest minister to see how the suit was progressing. The Shuyu, old man, looked carefully and saw nothing. Nothing at all. But his heart began to beat faster.
Am I a fool? Am I unfit for my position?
Not wanting to seem foolish, he smiled and said,
Wonderful, splendid. I've never seen such fine fabric.
The swindlers smiled satisfied and kept pretending to work, asking for more gold and silk threads, which they hid in their bags instead of using them. The emperor sent other courtiers, and they all pretended to see the fabric to avoid seeming incompetent. The news of the magical suit spread throughout the kingdom. Finally, the suit was finished. The swindlers held a grand ceremony to dress the emperor. They moved their hands gracefully, placing the invisible gown, adjusting the pleats, and securing the cloak on his shoulders. The emperor looked at himself in the mirror. He saw nothing, but the fear of appearing foolish was stronger.
It's incredible,
he said, smiling nervously. The courtiers clapped.
Such elegance, such delicacy. Your Majesty, you look like a living work of art.
The emperor, feeling very important, decided to have a parade so all his subjects could admire his new suit. And so he went out into the streets, proudly parading without a single garment on. The people had heard of the magical suit, so everyone clapped and praised the emperor, even though they saw nothing. No one wanted to appear foolish. But suddenly, amidst the crowd, a clear and honest voice broke the silence.
But the emperor isn't wearing anything,
shouted a small child, with the innocence of someone who still doesn't know the fear of speaking the truth. A murmur spread through the crowd. First, nervous laughter, then more voices.
It's true, he's naked.
The emperor's face turned red as a tomato. He knew the child was right, but pride is a stubborn enemy, and instead of admitting it, the emperor kept parading with his head held high, pretending everything was fine, while his advisers sweated in embarrassment, and the swindlers Well, they had already left with the emperor's money in their pockets. This story teaches us that sometimes the simplest truth is the hardest to say, especially when everyone is pretending otherwise. But honesty, even from a child, can reveal what no one dares to admit. It also shows us that pride and vanity can make even an emperor walk down the street without any clothes on.